Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 40 by 40, the podcast where we take the number one song from the top 40 Billboard charts 40 years ago and compare and contrast the number one song in the top 40 Billboard charts today. We're going to be contrasting Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life and Post Malone's Rockstar.
Popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a Rockstar.
Right off the bat, these songs are very different, right? One's super high energy, very raunchy, sort of. The other's very classic 1970s.
Ballady.
Yeah,
right.
very ballady. Which do you guys prefer in terms of just how it sounds?
Definitely the Rockstar. Maybe just because of our time and our day and age.
I think it would be hard to compare which one we like better just because we were born in a whole different generation, you know?
Yeah.
I think
it's a classic. It's a classic, but it puts you in a different mood.
Yeah. I don't agree that it's completely a generational thing because there are a lot of great songs that came out in 77 that I still like. There's a lot of Rolling Stones put out some good stuff. The Eagles put out Hotel California in 77.
Yeah.
And I still love those songs. What I don't understand is those songs were number one on the chart for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Debbie Boone's song, which I'll put out my 2 cents. I think it's quite boring compared to a lot of other music that's put out there.
Was top is really nice.
To put in the context, that song was top one on the chart for 10 weeks straight. I don't really get what was so special about it to make it that far running. I know there's some context behind it. I know it was from a movie first and then was transitioned into a song sung by someone else.
I think music definitely moves with the time. It's hard to compare that right now because Debbie Boone's song was on the number one chart for 2 months, just about. And then Rockstar, it's 5 weeks and going right now. Music has changed so much drastically to the point where it's way more competitive now. So it's almost like Rockstar this could be the last week that it's at number one, and then somebody else will come up with a hit song that everybody loves, and then it kicks it out of its place.
I feel like it's a lot that goes into it. The marketing, the culture, like the fashion, even with just like the way Debbie Boone was dressed in her video, and the way the artist of Rockstar.
Compare how Debbie Boone marketed and advertised this song and how it even got to be number one compared to Rockstar and how that got to be number one. Like, how is marketing different then compared to now when it comes to music?
I mean, of course we have like social media now,
right.
So that kind of plays a larger role in, Rockstar being number one for 5 weeks and counting.
And she had like a lot of different factors. You have to take into account her dad was Pat Boone. He was already famous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped to market the song as well. And like you said, like the movie, just the actor in the movie lip syncing it. That's famous already. And it was a remake.
Right.
So she had a lot of factors going in.
And then it's like a ballad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a love song.
People love love songs.
She said she sang it at like thousands of weddings. People kind of tie that in with love and everything too. And that was kind of like some symbolism there in the 70s about promoting love and light. And I think that kind of helped the song stay on for that long as well.
Right. Didn't she have a Barbie doll made after her, too?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors.
That would
But
be
I
awkward.
feel like Post Malone kind of uses the things that we learned in class about marketing and branding.
Social media.
Yeah.
A lot with social media and just kind of playing tricks to people to kind of get them interested. When he released the song on YouTube, he actually just released it with the chorus.
Right.
Like the full 3-minute version of the chorus. And that gets that in people's heads. They kind of remember it, and now they all feel like they rock stars.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's more of a catchy
Exactly.
record.
And then also like how he would post about like the feature 21 Savage.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't like mess with Post Malone before, you got 21 Savage and him just
Right.
posting
The
about that.
collaboration.
Yeah, the collaboration brought different audiences, and that's marketing within itself.
We've definitely clarified that You Light Up My Life compared to Rockstar now are both two completely different songs, two completely different genres, and two completely different artists. And I think it's funny to think about that, how that song was number one compared to the number one song now when it comes to our culture and how music has changed from a cultural perspective.
Yeah.
Back then in the 1970s, people were just kind of getting over the tension and the heat when it came to the Vietnam War. And there were just a lot of protests going on. You know, that was kind of the era where hippies kind of rose up because they were against, the American ways and things like that. And I think You Light Up My Life kind of just brought more hope and peace, that type of
Definitely.
slow ballad, just kind of back into the community.
Different feel.
Yeah, definitely. Whereas Rockstar, it's hard to compare because they're talking about two completely different things. I mean, you have Debbie Boone talking about love, and then you have Post Malone talking about Rockstar, and I just wanna
Have a
fuck
good
with
time.
But do you
people
really
and do
think
this.
they
And
are two different things? I mean, really, they're kind of the same thing in different ways. She's promoting like love and life and happiness, right? I feel like he's promoting happiness too. He likes, oh, I got this money, I got these cars, you know, I'm about to go turn up.
but that's so materialistic,
Yeah.
though. You know
But
what
that's
I mean?
not
Compared to
simple.
love.
But see,
Selling a
that's-
fantasy.
right.
Yeah.
But she's not selling the fantasy though. She's selling
Fantasy
like
is the
She
love
kind of
of
is,
God.
She
though.
could
She
though.
is.
What
Because
fantasy is she
love
selling?
is a
Love is
fantasy.
not everyone gets the opportunity
Right.
to love
but
someone.
he's selling
See,
more tangible things.
Well,
But it's both a fantasy. People can't all like obtain like flashy things like
So,
that.
okay, let's say this. Do you think if Debbie Boone were to say, like, something else lights up her life other than love, like something tangible, do you think people would have related to it the same
No.
way back then?
It would not have been at weddings. It would
Yeah.
not have been in the movie.
Right,
I think they're both
Well,
about just living vicariously, right?
Right.
right.
Because it's not about like the actual object; it's about allowing the listener to just take a second and like pretend that they are Debbie Boone or Post Malone and they're
Exactly.
living that sort of
Mhm.
life.
True.
The
Yeah,
actual
no.
content of the song, like rampant drugs and sex, that was pretty common in the '70s too.
Right.
That
it
was all the hippie movement was about. So that sort of stuff wasn't shocking in terms of the content, but it's interesting that like we've moved to the point where like that's not hindered by the kind of words that we use in music. Because if you had a song in the 1970s where the very first line was "I've been popping pills, fucking hoes, Rockstar," I can't think of a single producer that would have greenlit that.
The culture has changed, and just the things we accept and the things we like normalize.
Going back to when we were talking about branding and marketing, an important aspect is like I guess representing yourself and the way you dress, and I think fashion is very important then and now. It's your identity. A special guest that came into our class earlier in the semester, Hero the Band, like you can clearly tell that they had a unique sense of style
Right.
and that like that goes with their brand and their music. Back then, like there was a lot of color and cheap synthetic clothing. This was like the era of like mini skirts, tailored suits, flares,
Right.
hippie chic
Yeah.
patterns. A lot of people would think that like fashion back then isn't, very desirable, but I think like a lot of things are coming back to platform shoes, like Rihanna creepers.
I seen Post Malone with some bell bottoms on.
Yeah.
Like, legit, like, with
Terrible.
some bell bottoms and like a fringe vest.
No.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I
That's
think that's
pretty bad.
really reminiscent.
That really
of,
goes all
like,
the way back to the
70s.
Real
70s.
Debbie
Yeah,
Boone
real.
of him.
Wow.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to today's podcast regarding Debbie Boone and Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. If you have any comments or anything that you would like to say, please feel free to drop below. I'm Angel,
Casey.
I'm Amanda.
Miana.
Folly.
and this is 40 by
40 by
40.
40.
So what am I supposed to do?
Podcast where we review the top one number song on the. Let me start over again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 40 by 40.
I don't know about this.
Today we're going to be reviewing Debbie Moore's. Debbie Boone.
Who's Debbie Moore?
Who's Debbie Moore?
Who is Debbie Moore?
My bad.
Going back to like the marketing and branding aspect of, both of these artists.
Girl, it's okay. It's okay. Let's do it again.
Throwback.
Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life. Post Malone's Rockstar.
So let's go back to marketing. How do you think like different? You can't be laughing.
You gotta edit that out.
I will. This is awkward. I forgot what war it was.
Vietnam.
Okay.
I think that was real good.
Good
You
job,
did some good
guys.
feeding off of each other.
Say bye.